impeachment trial. We're live on Capitol Hill with details. Good evening, I'm Tina Robinson.
And I'm Dave Franklin for Larry Kane. Eyewitness News at 6 starts now.
Live from Independence Mall, KYW3 Eyewitness News.
Travel troubles with more to come. That tops Eyewitness News at 6 tonight. A messy mix of snow, sleet, and freezing rain has been causing problems on highways throughout the area. Once the heavy snowfall stopped, cleaning up was the order of the day for some. It's likely to go on for a while, despite the sleet and rain still falling throughout the area. The wintry mix caused road troubles on major highways and city streets alike. And Philadelphia public and parochial schools closed early, as did many districts in the suburbs.
Let's find out how things are going right now. We begin our team coverage with Eyewitness News reporter Robin McIntosh. He's live in Plymouth Township. Robin, how are things out there?
Well, Trina, take a look at what folks are headed home to at this hour. Snow-covered streets, snow-covered driveways, snow-covered sidewalks. A lot of work ahead. Lower temperatures here in the northern and western suburbs means a lot of snow. The snow started out as just a coating. But in just a few hours, it was so much more. The northern and western suburbs found themselves turning from salt spreaders to plows to try to keep the streets clear. And that investment in the snowblower finally paid off.
Nobody should be without one. As I said, I've been here 32 years. I've done it 25 with a shovel and 7 with this. I vote for this.
The changeover from snow to sleet was slower than the ride home this afternoon. And even heavy buses had trouble.
It's slippery, sliding every time you put on brakes.
How you making out with your schedule today?
Way behind.
Hundreds of snowbirds flocked to SEPTA to avoid the sometimes treacherous driving conditions. Happy to leave their cars at home.
I usually drive, but now I'm taking the bus because I don't want to be slipping and sliding all over the place, and I don't want to get stuck in the suburbs.
But for others, getting around in the snow was half the fun. All it took was a slope and a sled.
Excellent sledding.
And for the kids, they're still having a lot of fun in the snow, but for commuters, a far different story. Getting around on the roads today, well, not a lot of fun. For that story, my colleague Walt Hunter is standing by live in Chester County. Walt?
Robbie, it was no fun at all. It finally changed from white to wet here in Chester County along Route 23 at about 4:30 this afternoon. But before that, for all of us, it was a very nerve-wracking wait. The sound of ambulances responding to cars spun out on the Blue Route and plows keeping the lanes open echoed through the snow-filled air at mid-afternoon. Police closed off icy roads, trying to prevent accidents like this one in West Whiteland, where a car spun out of control, hitting a tree. A lot of fender benders?
Fender benders, people just not slowing down for the weather, and the roads are kind of slippery right now.
Tow truck driver Bob Cummins had a busy day hauling away wrecked vehicles. And other drivers like James Shuck on his way to a vacation in the Poconos were busy filling their windshield washer wells with fluid, hoping for the best as the snow kept piling up. Not intimidated at all by the snow, though?
Don't care. It doesn't matter. I'm getting away for the weekend.
Of course, if you really enjoy the snow or make money shoveling it, this was most definitely a day for you. And a lot of the drivers out here in Chester County can certainly identify with those kids, except the drivers, of course, were in cars. Right now, we're getting a very fine mist, not heavy rain, but the mist is adding to the problems. It's crusting on top of the snow in the roads, so this hasn't washed away yet. And right now, it doesn't look like it's going to wash away, at least for the next couple of hours. Live in Chester County, Walt Hunter, KYW3 Eyewitness News.
Which brings us to this story. After a couple of mild winters, some of us are a little rusty when it comes to driving in the snow and ice. So here now with a refresher course is Eyewitness News reporter Robin Taylor live in Voorhees. Robin?
Well, Dave, here in South Jersey, we've had some snow and some ice on top of that. It's making for some very messy driving conditions. So we turned to AAA for some simple advice, some little tips that you can do so that you feel more confident driving in this type of weather.
Get the heavy snow off of the car just by pushing it.
The first thing you want to do is clean the car off, and that means getting the ice and snow off the windows and mirrors.
And you want to make sure you get the tops of the cars as well so that the snow is not going to be flying back on cars and making them swerve and do ridiculous moves.
You want to be able to see other cars, and you want them to see you. So make sure your lights are free of snow and your wiper blades are clean. Now you're ready to go. The first thing you want to do is put on your seatbelt. Then prepare to drive slowly. Don't gun it when you take off, or you'll just end up spinning your wheels.
Everything takes 3 times as long in the snow. So in a normal dry condition, a stop would take 2 to 3 seconds. Following distance behind a vehicle, 2 to 3 seconds, but in snowy conditions and ice, you want 8 to 10 seconds.
So slow down. Accelerate slowly. Leave a safe stopping distance between you and the car in front of you. And if you do skid, steer into it.
You want to steer into the direction of the skid.
Now, one other important point. If you don't have anti-lock brakes and you start skidding, pump the brakes. If you've got anti-lock brakes, let them do the work for you by holding the brake down. Now, it's also important to have good tires. You should have all-season radials or some snow tires and make sure that the pressure in them is good. Also, this really doesn't take up much room. A little snow shovel, if you do get stuck, easy to pull out, help you dig your way out. This is something that adds a little bit of weight to the back of your car, makes you drive a little bit better. If you do get stuck, it really doesn't cost much. It's some kitty litter. And all you do is you put it down here, we put it right down here, and you get a little traction when you pull out. It should make it a little bit easier if you do get stuck in the snow. In Voorhees, I'm Robin Taylor, KYW 3 Eyewitness News.
And Robin, a lot of folks got stuck today, but fortunately, mass transit in and around Philadelphia hasn't been terribly affected by this snowstorm. SEPTA, PATCO, and Amtrak are all reporting only minor delays, but no major problems at this hour. However, New Jersey transit buses are averaging 40 to 60-minute delays. And at the airport, it's the usual story. Call ahead and give yourself plenty of time. There are lots of delays and cancellations being reported tonight, but crews have been working all day to get the snow removed and get those planes in the air.
While the snowstorm may be causing headaches for many of us, it was good news for school kids who got out early today. Many children throughout the area sent home early because of the weather. And while they waited for rides and buses, they did what kids do in the snow. They played in it. And from schools to daycare. Here, early closings once again meant fun for the kids, but extra stress for moms and dads. Several daycares like this one inside the Chesterbrook Academy in Center City closed early today, so parents did their best to pick up their little ones, bundle them up, and get them home safely. There you go. And it looks like the worst of the storm is behind us now.
Let's go live to meteorologist Tom LeMaine. He is in the KYW Storm Center. Tom.
I guess we can handle them all if we can handle this wet today. Well, it hasn't been that much snow, not a paralyzing snow. It's been slippery for the most part. But realize, folks, we haven't had snow like this in almost 2 years. Is it gone? Well, let's take a look at our KYW outside picture right now. This is on Independence Mall. You can see that just more than about 2 or 3 inches of snow is about it. Temperature-wise, it is still below freezing, 25 to 28 degrees from Washington to New York City, and it is raining outside. Last Saturday, we had rain, and it was 25. We have some light rain right now, and the temperature is about 25 degrees. Philadelphia had 3 inches of snow, Mount Laurel 2.5, 4 to 6 inches up in the Poconos where it is still snowing. Now, we're going to get a little bit more rain tonight. No more snow. It's going to be free of any precipitation for the next hour or so. I'll be back with the detailed report on what's ahead for tonight and, of course, the rest of the weekend, too. Right now, back to Trina and Dave.
All right, thanks, Tom. And up next on Eyewitness News, the Senate makes a deal.
When will President Clinton's impeachment trial get started? And will there be witnesses? We're there live in Washington with the very latest.
And Wall Street moves into record territory again. Check out today's numbers.
On the next Entertainment Tonight, we're with Paul McCartney, back in the States for his first public appearance since the death of his wife. Then, Larry Flint and the list that has Washington terrified.
Are there any new secrets that you can tell us about members of Congress?
And only we know exactly when he will reveal new names. Plus, Diana Ross and her new performance with Brandy. On Entertainment Tonight.
Tonight at 7 on KYW 3. The 1999 Philadelphia International Auto Show is happening at the Pennsylvania Convention Center January 9th through the 17th. See hundreds of new 99 models plus year 2000 sneak previews on display for the first time ever. See the the multi-million-dollar exotic car display featuring Lamborghini, Bentley, Rolls-Royce, and Ferrari. See futuristic concept.
Instead of working on your legs from the outside, care for them from the inside with a natural supplement, Venustat. Clinical proof shows it safely helps maintain circulation and protect against swelling. Venustat. Healthy legs from the inside out.
Right now, it's your local forecast on the Weather Channel.
Snow, freezing rain, sleet, we've got it all in the Northeast, and we have the threat for severe weather across parts of the South. Good evening and welcome to Weather Center. I'm Janetta Jones, live in the Forecast Center here at the Weather Channel. We are tracking all of this wintry precipitation, and to do that, we want to show you some pictures out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It's a mess, folks, no doubt about that. These pictures show you the nasty conditions causing traffic problems. Conditions are not going to get much better. 2 to 3 inches of snow snarled traffic this morning. Then it turned to freezing rain. It could turn to rain later tonight, but it will definitely change back to snow tomorrow. So you're on a roller coaster ride of sorts as far as precipitation goes. Looking at the eastern half of the country, we can tell you that this is primarily snow to the north. Then we have the rain and the thunderstorms here, but in between, that's where it gets a little bit tricky. That's where we are talking about sleet and freezing rain and just an icy skating rink on the roadways, as you might well imagine. Eventually, we're watching a lot of warmer, moist air flowing northward out of the Gulf of Mexico, so that surge of warm air is all the way into southern Ohio, and it has changed over to all rain. And some more warm air is going to be riding up the eastern seaboard. So a lot of places, such as Washington, D.C., that saw snow earlier, are going to be changing over to a freezing mix and then over to all rain. It's going to happen for the Jersey Shore as well. We talk about I-95, 87, and 81. This is going to be the corridor that will be changing over overnight tonight and then going to all rain by tomorrow. It's snow right now in Boston and Concord and also Portland. Looks like it's going to stay that way for the next couple of hours. Same is true in Buffalo and Syracuse and Albany, New York. As we head a little farther to the south, that's when it gets a little bit tricky. A little break in the action for you right now in Washington and Philly, although some freezing drizzle has been reported in Philadelphia in the last hour or so. In New York City, we've been getting some steady snowfall over the last 2 or 3 hours, actually. That's going to be changing over, and by tomorrow morning it will be all rain. Pittsburgh has been getting some freezing rain, too. Just a mess for you. Detroit, Saginaw, Milwaukee, all snow here. Into Chicago, a steady light snow has been falling for you, making the walk a miserable one. It was just enough snow to make you clean off the windows. Less than an inch actually fell. Temperatures rose into the lower 20s, so it was a little bit chilly, obviously. We talk about the rain a little farther to the south into most of Kentucky after a sheet of ice covered the area in places like Louisville for the rush hour commute. It's been pretty warm in this area with that surge of moisture moving northward, even as far north as Cincinnati. But as the colder air starts to take a nosedive from Canada and moves into this region, we will see a change over to snow for you by tomorrow morning. Check out the wind chill. It's 40 below. That's what it feels like in Minot. It feels like 24 below in Sioux Falls. It feels like 16 below in Kansas City. So definitely looking at a colder push of air that will spread south and then east into the eastern seaboard by Sunday. Notice we have that push of air already diving to the south all the way down into Nebraska and Kansas. Icy conditions continuing for Indiana and Ohio and on into parts of Pennsylvania. Temperatures are still below the freezing mark in all of these locales, but we have seen a little nudge northward in New York City. Look at that. You're getting closer and closer to the freezing mark, so warmer temperatures are on the horizon. Probably get about 3 to 6 inches of snow in this particular region before the changeover occurs, and by tomorrow morning, as you can see, east of the front, it will all be rain, pretty much, and west of the front, we'll get that colder air wrapping around the low, and we'll get a snow event for you in the Ohio Valley. Cleveland and Pittsburgh will change over to snow again. We'll keep you posted on all aspects of this storm. If you're away from your television set this weekend and you need more information, we can tell you more about it on the internet at weather.com. Now we go to the studio for a look at the severe weather threat. Here's Jill Brown.
Okay, thanks, Janetta. We still do have a tornado watch that's in effect, meaning possibility of tornadoes. When you get the warning, that means one has either been sighted or it has been indicated by radar. And we do have that. We have one warning. In Humphreys County in Mississippi, you can see the cell right here. That is the only tornado warning that we have. The cell is moving northeast at 30 and could affect Silver City and Belzoni, it looks like, at any time. We also have several severe thunderstorm warnings, and we have had reports of hail the size of 1 3/4 inch. So that's pretty big hail, so watch out for hail, gusty winds, and possible tornadic development. These are some of the counties that have warnings. Calhoun County in Arkansas, Issaquah County in Mississippi, you have a severe thunderstorm warning. Also Cleveland County in Arkansas, and one more in Arkansas is Lincoln County. So the thunderstorms with the severe weather basically right in here, this line, and also this line in Arkansas, all moving northeast at about 30 miles per hour. Elsewhere we have a lot of rain. It may have started off as ice, but it's all rain now across Tennessee, and in Kentucky, real heavy rain through the day today, but this morning we even had road closures because of the ice. So take a look. Here it is, Louisville, Kentucky, where it warmed above freezing today, but you have this kind of mess this morning. Freezing rain that fell on top of snow that had fallen yesterday, and that put a coat of ice on everything and made for quite a workout doing the scraping. So it's okay this evening, just wet roadways. Tonight, cold air works right back in, and we go back to snow by morning. So hard to keep up with this one, but this is just a real soaking of rain here. And